I really don't care what happens, sir, at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
Police cars pulled up to Iman Shumpert's house, and no one could believe who sent them. Teyana's new man, Aaron, had reportedly called the cops on Iman, right in front of her daughter. Witnesses say the little girl was left in tears, scared and confused, as flashing lights lit up the driveway. What happened inside that house, and why did Aaron take things this far? It all began earlier that day. Iman came to drop off his daughter, just like always. But when Aaron opened the door, the tension was instant. No greeting, no smile, just a cold stare. The little girl felt it too. Her hand tightened around her dad's. Moments later, the yelling started. Aaron accused Iman of showing up to start problems. Iman stayed calm, but Aaron kept pushing, stepping closer, his voice rising. Teyana rushed in to stop them, but it was too late. The moment had exploded. And all this happened with their daughter standing right there, crying. Turns out, Aaron had already called the police before Iman even arrived. He told them Iman was aggressive, but when the cops showed up, they found something else entirely. A scared child, a calm father, and a man who might have taken things way too far. When police asked for proof, Aaron hesitated. Doorbell cam footage told the truth. Ian hadn't threatened anyone. He just wanted to see his daughter. And when that video leaked online, everything changed. It started out as a normal visit. Iman had planned the weekend with his daughter, part of the usual custody arrangement. Nothing out of the ordinary. According to people close to the family, he picked her up just like always, took her home, and spent time with her like any other loving father. They were in the backyard playing a simple game of catch, laughing, soaking up the sun. But then, a sudden knock at the door changed everything. It wasn't just a delivery or a friendly neighbor, it was the police. Multiple officers. And they said they were responding to a call about a domestic issue. But here's the twist. That call came from Aaron, who wasn't even at the house. Outside the house, things got tense. Neighbors, already startled by the loud police arrival, began to gather quietly. One resident across the street even recorded what happened next. The video shows officers speaking calmly to Iman, who stood in the doorway with his daughter hiding behind his leg. His body language was calm, but his eyes were full of disbelief. Again and again, he told the officers, "This isn't necessary. I'm just with my daughter." You could hear the confusion in his voice. He had no idea why they were even there. And yet, the officers said they needed to check on the safety of everyone inside. That moment broke something in the little girl. As the police asked questions and took notes, she began to cry. Quiet at first, then louder, like she didn't understand why everything around her suddenly felt scary. "Why are the police here? What did Daddy do?" she asked, her small voice shaking. Iman knelt down and hugged her, whispering, "Nothing, baby. You're okay. I promise." It was clear he was trying to protect her from the fear, but the damage was done. Witnesses said she clung to him, trembling, refusing to let go. Even the officers, who seemed unsure about the whole call, started looking uncomfortable. They weren't expecting to find a peaceful father-daughter moment shattered by flashing lights. And where was Teyana in all of this? She wasn't even there when it happened. She reportedly showed up later, after the cops had already spoken to Iman, after her daughter had already cried her heart out. When she arrived, she was in tears too. Not angry, just overwhelmed. "Why didn't you just call me back?" she asked Iman, her voice cracking. But Iman wasn't playing nice anymore. He looked her in the eye and said, "Because we're not doing games anymore." Those words hit hard. Teyana tried to take her daughter's hand, but the child wouldn't let go of Iman. She buried her face in his chest, refusing to leave his side. For the first time, Teyana looked shaken, not just by the scene, but by what it might mean for her family. Online, it didn't take long for the story to spread. Once that neighbor's video hit the internet, it went viral almost instantly. People were outraged. One post said, "Calling cops on a black father spending time with his child? Disgusting." Another tweet read, "Aaron is overstepping hard. This isn't his place at all." Hashtags exploded, #let him on parent, #protect the kids, #not his call. While a few users tried to defend Aaron, saying maybe he was just worried, most people weren't buying it. The general feeling? This wasn't about concern. It was about power. And Aaron had crossed a line that no one should cross, especially not when a child is involved. As the video kept making the rounds, fan theories started flying. Some people believe Aaron did it on purpose, to embarrass Iman, to make him look unstable, or even to create a legal paper trail that could hurt his custody rights. Others think Aaron's actions were fueled by jealousy, that he just couldn't handle the strong bond between Iman and his daughter. It wasn't about safety, one comment said. It was about control. A few users went even further, saying this could backfire hard. If Iman wanted to, he could take this to court, and he might actually win. Because when someone weaponizes the police in a peaceful parenting situation, judges don't take that lightly. Speculation has continued to build around Teyana's relationship with Aaron, especially in the wake of recent events that have ignited a firestorm of public scrutiny. While neither of them has publicly confirmed or denied the state of their relationship, sources close to the situation suggest that Teyana might already be distancing herself. According to insiders, she was blindsided by Aaron's decision to involve law enforcement, a move that has since sparked deep personal and public consequences. She allegedly had no prior knowledge that he was going to make that call, and now that the dust is settling, she's beginning to question not just the action itself but the deeper implications of what it reveals about the man she's been linked to. Some say she's still trying to navigate the situation carefully, avoiding taking a definitive stance too quickly. But in doing so, that neutrality may be backfiring. The absence of a clear response has created a vacuum that others are rushing to fill with criticism, speculation, and disappointment. Among fans, the divide is sharp. A portion of the public is still rallying behind Teyana, believing that she's caught in a situation she didn't sign up for. They argue that it's unfair to hold her accountable for a decision she neither made nor condoned. These supporters insist she's doing her best to maintain peace, to think clearly before making any public declarations. They see her silence as a calculated move, perhaps even a temporary one, while she weighs the long-term consequences. But not everyone sees it that way. For many others, her silence is deafening. It's being interpreted as complicity, or worse, indifference. There's a growing chorus of voices insisting that silence, in this case, is not neutral at all. That choosing not to condemn such a harmful action is, in its own way, a choice, and a dangerous one. One particular social media post that quickly went viral summed up the mood for many: "You don't come back from this. Not if you're a mother watching your child cry in fear because your man made a reckless choice." The comments struck a chord, shared thousands of times by people who are struggling to understand how something so deeply traumatic could have happened so quickly and with so little warning. The imagery in that post is powerful, because it taps into something primal: the instinct to protect a child, and the horror of realizing that someone you trusted may have jeopardized that safety in a moment of ego-driven conflict. This isn't just drama, it's deeply personal. It touches on parenting, trauma, fear, and the weight of public responsibility. And as more people take sides and dissect every detail, the mess only seems to grow more tangled with each passing hour. At the center of this emotional storm lies a truth that many people don't want to confront. This entire incident wasn't really about parenting, despite what some may claim. It wasn't about ensuring the child's safety or acting out of concern. It was about power. It was about ego. Aaron's decision to call the police wasn't made in a vacuum. It was a calculated move, a weaponization of the system during a personal dispute. When he picked up that phone and involved law enforcement, knowing that the father in question, Iman, was calmly and lovingly spending time with his daughter, he crossed a line. It's a line that should never be blurred, because calling the police in such a situation carries enormous risks, especially in communities where those encounters can go wrong so quickly. It should always be the last resort. But in this case, it was the first move. The situation could have spiraled out of control. Iman, understandably, could have reacted with fear or anger. He could have raised his voice, made a sudden movement, or tried to assert his rights, all things that could have escalated the situation in tragic ways. But instead, he stayed composed. He held onto his daughter, literally and emotionally, and tried to shield her from the chaos that suddenly surrounded them. He didn't just protect her from the immediate danger of the police response, he protected her from absorbing the trauma of the moment. But no matter how calm he remained, there are some things that simply can't be undone. What Aaron did, whether it was out of spite, fear, or something else entirely, revealed something that can't be taken back. His decision left a mark not just on that child's memory, but on the broader dynamic between everyone involved. That little girl now carries a moment that will likely stay with her forever. Flashing lights, Tension in the air, confusion about why the calm of being with her father suddenly turned into a scene of fear. The sound of her dad trying to soothe her as strangers in uniforms closed in is not a memory that fades with time. It's the kind of memory that lingers, silently shaping how she sees the world and the people in it. Apologies may come. Explanations might be offered. Silence may be maintained, or eventually broken. But no matter what happens next, the damage has already been done. This one decision may have shifted everything, not just the relationship between Aaron and Iman, but possibly between Aaron and Teyana. It might even fracture the connection between Aaron and the fans who once supported him so passionately. Because in moments like this, when emotions run high and the stakes are real, people pay attention to actions more than words. And this particular action may prove to be the one that changed everything. So now we're left with questions. Big ones. If you are Iman, could you forgive Aaron? Could you look past this and pretend it was a misunderstanding? Or would you take him to court and make sure it never happens again? What would you do if someone brought police into your family's peaceful moment, just to prove a point? Tell us in the comments. We want to hear your real thoughts. And if you believe no child should ever have to witness something like this, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that dive deep into the truth, because when love turns into conflict, and conflict turns into chaos, what's left behind is more than just broken trust. It's pain that runs deeper than words.